Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm here, joined with Inti Campo.
Hola, ¿qué tal? sorry.
That's Spanish.
I missed the language. Good morning, people. How are you? Just kidding.
That's all right. That's all right. So we're going to be talking about a few things. Like I just typed into the to Google, and I'm getting annoyed here. Negative 32%. Everybody, you all know, right? Because it was all talked about last week that the GDP contracted by 32% in the United States. Now, do you think if I remember seeing titles everywhere? If you type into Google negative 32% GDP, you would find something, right? But so far, I found absolutely nothing because that didn't happen. Wow. Okay. Well, anyways, we have bonds, right? Negative rate bonds that are, it's okay, where, you loan somebody money, and it's okay if they pay you back less. That makes sense. And also bonds are increasing in value because, hey, you know what? With the stock market, because that's always been normal, right? And we're going to talk about how people are considering this normal. And when people think the abnormal is normal, something big is about to happen. All right, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do that, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, where they're going. We're going to zoom out a little bit on each of these charts to see what's happening and see if we can figure out which direction we're going to be going in the short and medium term. All right, with that said, before I get into that, Inti has a few words to say.
Yes. As always, people, it's worth to remind you that this video is for entertainment purposes only, and this is not a financial advice. Please do your own research before putting any of your hard-earned money on the market.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you, right? Google's. I'm like, you got to be joking, right? You've got to be joking. Because I saw titles, and every single person on this planet had a title, a news title, negative 32% GDP. And I'm like, what? There's no news on that? That didn't happen? Please tell me, am I missing something? If you don't mind, if somebody could put in the chat room what happened to that to the United States GDP in the last quarter. Did it shrink? Did it grow? Because that's what
I'm curious. What happens if you use another search engine?
Yeah, I know. I will do that afterwards. Let's get into the technical analysis. Alrighty, so here we have, right, Ethereum. We're gonna go on to Ethereum first. Ethereum, oh my god, I just realized that there's a massive W here. If we go to the monthly, look at that. Look at that beautiful W. Oh my goodness, this is going to be epic. When it breaks here, it's already broke out, but you know what? Whenever it does that, whenever it breaks out, because I don't like breakout trades, there's going to be a retrace, and you can see that there's a lot of traffic here. If we go down to the 2-week, right, you see a lot of traffic in this area where it bounced off of this, and then once it broke this support, it was like lights out for Ethereum for a very, very long time. Now that it's created this W here, this nice, beautiful W. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me just get rid of the magnet here. Right, now that it's created that beautiful W. Oh, man. Can't get anything better. Look at that. It's like, oh. Like all the bodies are, none of the bodies are broken. The bottom thing with this absolute bottom down here. It's just like, yeah. That's a W. That's a W. And so once we've broken, right, you know that this is going to explode. Right now, is it going to explode right now? I mean, looking at the shorter time frame, we go to the shorter time frame, I'm a little concerned here. To daily time frame, we've gone too high, too fast, and so and then we're now on an upward sloping channel here that's just way unsustainable, completely unsustainable. Oops. As you can see, it's just like, okay, do you think that prices are just going to continue going up like this forever? No. So look for a break of this trend line here. I'm looking for a break of this trend line for it to break down further. Again, I was thinking when we were talking in our private Telegram chat group for Pandora's wallet, I was saying, hey, listen, we should be long around here. I just don't know where our stop loss is. Kind of a little deep here. It's technically what it should do is come back up, give people a chance to we're long up here to get out, and then dump back down. And so it looks like that's what we've done. We've given people a chance to get back out, get out who are long up here. And yeah, if you're long up here and you are now like break even, you should get out. Doesn't mean it won't go higher, right? But that's a lower probability than a retest of the 38.2, which is down here where we have a decent upward trend line. That's like more normal than this crazy uptrend trend line. You have this trend line as well, which is the higher band of the overall trend. You can see that the overall trend from the bottom never broke this yellow line. I'm gonna change the color to purple. It never broke that. It broke it a little bit and always came back, and then this bottom one, when it broke down and got back into it, that's when it started its parabolic run. That's crazy. And I think it has to come back to it because like it kept testing it. It tested it a couple times. That's red one. So I really think we're either going to come back to the purple one and bounce off of that, stay on this top side of that, and then go higher, or we're going to come back down to the 38.2 and then go higher. Those are the two options. But honestly, I don't think you should be buying up here. You shouldn't be taking any leverage bets anymore on this thing going on Ethereum going higher. That's just asking for trouble. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. Not highly probable. Right? It's not. It's just you're just asking to get wrecked. All right. With that said, let's head over to Bitcoin. Now that we've talked about Ethereum first, I'm surprised Bitcoin didn't do the exact same thing. Honestly, it's not giving anybody a chance to get out. It's just letting those suckers up here hang like flail in the wind here. And I find it very hilarious that Bitcoin would do that. I honestly expected it to come back up here and then dump back down, but now that it's decided, yeah, you know what, screw them. Is it going to roll over? It's you know what, it's come back to the 38.2 ever since it broke back down. Retested the 38. If we break the 38.2, you can see that we're coming to the 61.8, and that's basically it. So if we break the top, we have to break this top, unfortunately, to really say that, hey, we're going higher. We can't break just this top. This is not going to do it. We're going to have to do a lot of Wing up here before we actually say for sure this is going higher. Before we break this top, so there's no direction, and so I wouldn't trade this thing unless you have a trading plan that allows you to do that. But we're in the middle of no man's land, and we haven't made up our mind on which direction we're going to do. We have the gap below us on the CME futures exchange, and And yeah, the 61.8 also below us. That's also a possibility that we go visit before we actually go higher. I'm not willing to make any kind of trades just yet, and I'll just wait and see what this thing, how the price action continues. I guess we could go down to a lower time frame to find some trades, but I'm going to leave it at that. Let's go on to talking about the world, how the world has lost its mind. I mean, let's start off with Alessio Sani. I'm not saying that these guys are bad people or anything like that. I'm not dissing the information that they're providing or being. I'm just pointing out a critical flaw in his decision-making process of saying, hey, you know what, now that bonds are going up, right, with the stock market means deflation. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, so you're saying to me that although the Federal Reserve is printing money and the prices of everything are going up, that means deflation. Oh no, or wait a minute, that means, wait a minute, the market is expecting deflation, right? That's what you're saying. And I'm like, what? For me, what I read is totally different. And, I respect your opinion, but my read on this thing is that the bonds are going up because people are front running the Fed, right? The traders, they're only looking for a small amount of money because they're not. This is not mom and pop shops trading bonds, right? This is big institutions, and so 1 pip on the movement on the bonds, and they're raking in the dough, right? So whether it's up or down, and so obviously they're just front running the Fed because the Fed said, hey, we're buying no matter what. So wouldn't that make sense that that's why bonds are going higher? It's been being manipulated higher by the Federal Reserve. And thus, therefore, same with the stock market. That's being manipulated higher. In fact, they clearly told us that that's what they're doing. They said they're buying stocks through other companies. They've created this company. They're quite open about it and quite clear. So this is not like, some plan. It's one thing if, I were to say that that some entity that I don't know who is buying up the stocks and bonds, right? That's called a conspiracy theory, right? And I get it because I could say that if you didn't know who, if I don't know who, and they didn't say and they didn't document that that's what they're doing, that's a conspiracy theory. But if the Federal Reserve documents that's what they're doing, well, would you consider that a conspiracy theory if somebody tells you that's what they're doing? They show you how they're doing it?
No, because you have proof.
I mean, it's incredible, right? And so, that's okay. And another, I watch, other channels as well, of course. I was watching Chris Dunn's channel, another good channel that you should watch. And I'm not saying that stocks are going to go away or something like that, but I'm thinking, do you really think that buying stocks is a good idea to protect your wealth when A, you do not own stocks directly, you own them through a third party. 2, right? There's going to be a massive shock coming to our currency because, as you know, right, this currency is not a fair system, and it requires more and more debt, and we're pretty much at the end of this Ponzi scheme because, why are we at the end? Well, the global negative interest rates, right? They stopped counting it as of August of last year, right? I can't find any searches on how much negative interest rates do we have. Maybe even a month ago, maybe in March. I can't find anything. And so, it's probably a lot worse than 15 trillion. And so that means there's more than $15 trillion of wealth where people go, you know what? I got an idea. I'm going to loan you. I'm not going to find a place where I could put my money where it will grow. That's just silly. I'm going to find a place where I'm going to lose money. Does that make sense to you?
Of course not. But people doesn't think it that way.
And yet that's normal. And I'm like, what? And then on top of that, the stock market's up. Everybody's talking, these guys were talking about how, well, you know what? They mentioned the negative 32% GDP growth. They said 32%. And I'm 1,000% sure I saw title after title that said 32%. And yet I can't find it. And now, so let's just try Bing. Let's see. Am I losing my mind here? Did I not see negative 32%? Maybe I didn't, and I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just, so I did see it, right? So it was like 32.9. But yet Google's can't do this. See that? Did you see that? You see the difference? What's going on? Right? What is going on? Am I in a Black Mirror world where everything's upside down? This is unbelievable. I can't believe this. Why is Bing working and Google is not? This is exactly what I should have expected to see. You see how it showed me the chart of the global, the GDP, and Google said, yeah, that's not what you want. You want to hear that actually GDP went up 2%.
People in the chat were saying that you could find that information, but you have to put very specific words.
Right. Alrighty then. Okay, so I guess Google is definitely now officially broken, because it never used to be like that, right? If I came close, right, to what I was looking for, it would find it just like this. Yeah, sure. It was negative 32.9. But really, you saw the titles. I saw the titles. You saw the titles. I'm sure you saw the titles. Everybody was saying negative 32, right? And so, obviously somebody's going to rewrite, what they saw before. And so you'd think that would be at the top of the search engine. That's just me. Yes, I'm just crazy like that. But it worked out here on Bing, but not on Google. Anyways, so yeah, there it is. I mean, that's better than, that's better than expected. The 33, you know what? We were expecting 40 some odd percent. We got lucky. We're only negative 32. I mean, how is this possible? That this is like, never happened before in the history of America, but hey, it's not that bad. Wow. I just can't believe it. I'm amazed how everyone is like, what you get to do, right? It's normal. And nobody's taking actions to basically protect themselves financially, right? By saying, hey, you know what? This does not look right. I'm going to move a percentage of my wealth away from this financial system. Need to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm going to start stacking maybe gold, stacking maybe silver, Bitcoin, some other assets that assets that I own directly, just in case, because this does not look right, because it doesn't. All right, so with that said, let's head off to the question and answers for today.
Oh, great. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we got a super chat from Crypto Gardener. He said, "Can you look into the chart of AION against Bitcoin and look into the fundamentals? I believe it's a real sleeper that everyone has forgotten about."
So what's the ticker symbol for that coin?
AION.
AION. Okay. AION. Oh. Alrighty, AION. Alrighty, let's take a look at that coin. Let me bring it up. And let me just switch screens. Right, and yeah, I haven't forgotten about that. I picked up some of the coins here. I've been scraping the bottom on this thing. Every time it comes back down, I'm looking to buy it, pick some up. I've already made a double on that. You can see here. I'm happy to buy off the ground. If anybody wants to sell this thing, you can see people are actually coming into this market on the 2-week chart. Let's head to the 1 week. Doesn't look so good with the emming out kind of deal here. Not the perfect kind of M, but it's still it is an M. But I don't think it's gonna complete its AB equals CD down to below the markets. But who knows? I don't think it's gonna break down below this. But at what's it? 658 sats is the low. I don't see that happening, but anything could be possible. If it goes lower, hey, you know what? I'll pick some up off the ground, no problem. I still have some dry powder, and I haven't put a whole lot of money into this thing to lose sleep at night should it go to zero. That's how you trade. That's how you manage your risk. Any kind of bet you're going to make, you have to assume that it will go to zero. And if you're okay with that, then you buy it. Don't buy all of it. Don't spend all of the money all at once, of course, right? Like, for example, let's just say I only put 1% into this. I want to only put 1% maximum into this. So I'd start off with 0.25, and then I'd buy another 0.25 and another 0.25. If I doubled up, right, and then it comes back down, it's okay. I've already made my money, so I could throw another couple 0.25s into this percent into this coin as well. So that's the kind of risk that I'm taking whenever I buy any particular asset. All right, next question.
Okay, so Liquidator Retiro says, Inti, can you please ask Davinci for comp against BTC?
Liquidator Brunt?
That's what it's called Liquidator Retiro. I think
Retardo.
It has numbers and
okay, alrighty. He's a liquidator from Star Trek or something like that. One of those Ferengi Star Treks from Ferengi. Oh, Jesus. But anyways, yeah, let's take a look at what he wants to talk about, which is, what was the ticker symbol?
COMP.
COMP. Comp. From the comp controller. E. Ooh. Wow. Yeah. That's getting whacked. But hey, what the heck? What's happening in the dollar section?
Hey,
it's weird.
Shouldn't look like that.
It's weird.
Shouldn't look like that. I'm pretty sure comp looks way better.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure too.
Are you looking at like 3 months or something?
Let's see here. Well, on Binance, it's self-destructed.
Really?
Kind of strange.
Just the weekly What's wrong with it?
Yeah, it's different different what's it called, exchanges. Maybe
That's not good.
exactly. They're like way off here. Bittrex is a little higher when it's priced in Bitcoins. It's $200 on Bittrex almost. Well, it's a mess. It's 129 on Binance. That's a mess. That's a hot mess. I don't know what the heck they're doing. Let's see where else. It's on Hitbit. It's $128. So I'm gonna have to assume Binance is correct if we see that it's, yeah, exactly. Binance is probably correct, and Bittrex is way off because most of the other exchanges are approximately at $129. All right. So assuming that, yeah, there's not enough information here to say what the direction is, other than down. And down she goes. This was not good because, as you can see, right, it's sliding down. I would wait until this crosses this downward trend line here, before you actually decide to buy this thing. Let's give it some time to shake and bake. Then we could take a look at this thing another time. Don't be buying this thing here. Wait for it to bottom out. You can try picking the bottoms yourself and seeing if you catch the bottom, but it's really difficult to say. I that's why I don't like buying ICOs, new ICOs, and so forth. I know this thing traded on Uniswap or something like that for a long time, so beforehand. So maybe it's just taking a breather after a big pump or something on Uniswap. I don't know. I don't have the full chart data on this, so I'm gonna pass until I see this thing turn around. All right, next question.
Okay, you want a question or you want another article request?
Question.
A question. Okay. Okay. This is from Marco Di Stefano. This one is from yesterday. Yesterday we had a lot of excellent questions. This is Marco said, "Hi Davinci, considering the 7 trillion printing by the central banks during the pandemic period, do you think the crypto market can touch a multi-trillion market cap? Regards."
Can it touch a multi-trillion? Can it get up to a multi-trillion market cap? Yeah. What do you think, Enti?
Yeah, I would say that yes, but I mean you have to be cognizant that it's not going to happen tomorrow. I thought it's going to be next year. I thought it's going to be next 3 years. I mean, you have to give it time. It's completely new. And people have to trust it. That's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that's going to take that much longer. I don't think you're underestimating the amount of money that's being flooded in, because the numbers are so high, and how much we already have, right? So what they're effectively going to do, right? Because there's an example of the Federal Reserve talking about creating $12 trillion in the next few months, right? Because in order to keep the economy afloat, right? In order to do the same thing as reducing the yeah, exactly. So 12 trillion. I'm just googling it, and I'm realizing that that's going to be a waste of time. 12 trillion. Let's just see here. What would I look for to be specific? 12 trillion FOMC. No. 12 trillion of QE is the lowest rates in 5,000 years. No, that's in 2016. Yeah, well, I remember reading it somewhere and I can't find it because, you know, Google's not working anymore. And if they print that 12 trillion, the market cap for, because the reason, the amount of that number, right, doesn't require that amount of money for the DeFi space or the cryptocurrency space to move to a multi-trillion-dollar net worth, right? All it takes is like less than like, you know, $500 million or something like that, or less than that, because there isn't enough coins for people to sell to them, so they have to raise the price. If you came along with $500 million, you would see prices in the $1 trillion market area, because people go, well, yeah, I'm not going to sell you to that unless it gets a lot higher. Sell you my coins until it gets a lot higher. And so you have to, you know, push the price higher to get those coins, and that's what that's where you'll push the market into the multi-trillion-dollar levels. This will obviously drive other people to follow in, and yeah, that money and the small amounts of money will move this thing very, very fast. So we will be in the multi-trillions of dollars by, if we don't, I'll be shocked if we're not at the $1 trillion this year, by the end of this year. At least one.
I heavily underestimated then.
At least one. The whole market. I'll be honestly shocked if we're not there. But I really think by next year, we'll be well over a couple trillion for the whole market. Alrighty, next question.
Next question. Okay, so this one is from EOS, and this is one of my favorite questions. I always like to ask this to you. EOS asks, can you explain to us how the price of precious metal is manipulated using derivatives, ETF, and bullion bank lending?
Oh, awesome. I was actually reading a book on this last night and for the last few weeks now. And it's a book that I'm going to leave the description. I can't remember now the name of the book right now. It's just how there was the whole system is manipulated and stuff like that. And as I'm reading it, I was like, yeah, it's not telling me anything I already don't know. Basically, let me make it simple for you so that it's not overly complicated. If I sell you a promise to give you gold and I don't have any gold, right? Is that going to actually affect? Is the sale of my fake gold going to affect the price of the real gold if there is no gold being transferred? No. And that's what a derivative is. It's basically, I'm just betting on the price of gold, right? And you know, most people who purchase derivatives know that they're not actually getting gold. Most people. Most traders understand that. And they don't care, right? Because all they're looking for is to increase their dollar holdings. And yeah, that's our market. And then they have like other ways of course, manipulating the market. One is if you go to a bank and you ask them to give you gold, they will give you a gold certificate, which obviously is not gold. It's just to bet against the price as well. They also use the bullion. They lease gold to the bullion banks, and what they make a mistake, and what the GATA makes a mistake on is that they're saying that that the bullion banks take the gold from the lease and sell it into the market, and that is partially correct and partially incorrect. They don't sell the actual gold itself, where somebody takes ownership and takes a bar, puts it in their pocket and go, yeah, thank you very much. No. They sell the rights to the ownership of that gold that's sitting in the New York vault or in the Fort Knox vault or wherever it is. And the gold doesn't actually move, right? And so the bullion bank pays an interest rate on the gold that they've leased, whilst at the same time what they do is they take a hedge bet against gold by purchasing a gold contract. Now you might think, well, wait a second, that would raise the price of gold if you're purchasing a gold contract. Well, of course, the Federal Reserve and other banks out there, they know they have to suppress the price of gold, and so they actually bet against the gold. So when the bullion banks buy the gold on the contract, they have an offsetting contract. The banks itself have an offsetting contract against the gold. And so then they use other derivatives in order to help prevent them from taking a loss on the gold should gold prices continue to rise. So they have multiple ways of avoiding losses should the price of gold rises. Some of which are promises from the Federal Reserve to cover all losses against trades in the market on their behalf. You're like, what? I never read that. An example of that, and I don't know if you've heard about it. This company called Bear Stearns, they went under and was taken over by J.P. Morgan, and all risks that they had taken on over. J.P. Morgan had taken on was promised by the Federal Reserve on the contract that, hey, you know what? You could have this for $2 a share. Yeah, I know their building is worth more than the amount of the amount of money that you're buying this for. but yeah, you could have that for next to nothing. And so, and then in that deal, right, because this was clearly documented, that any losses that the J.P. Morgan suffers based on what they've taken over on their balance sheet, that they will cover it completely. So some of the losses that they're talking about is the gold and silver shorts that they own, and that's how it's done. All right, next question.
Okay, this is a super chat from Diego Arce, and he has for SXP Technical Analysis.
SXP. So I want to know, how is the chat? How's the like to viewers ratio?
There are 360 people watching on average, right, and 100 likes.
All right, so let's get the likes up here so that I can continue doing my question and answers and TA. If you want me to do like at least 3 more before I end the stream, smash that like button so that we get up to 200 likes at least. All right.
We also have 44 people hanging out on Twitch. Thank you, people, for being here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on Twitch as well. All right. So what was the ticker symbol?
SXP.
SXP. Now remember, always, so those who are new, I always like to price things in Bitcoin, except for the main currencies, my main base currencies, which are Bitcoin and Ethereum, because I want to earn in both those currencies, by either Bitcoin or in Ethereum. I don't want to count my wealth in a currency that's going to go away. So I rather do that. I rather count it on a solid currency called Bitcoin. And so yeah, let's see here. Looking at this, I'm looks like it wants to turn around. It might just chop around this area for a while before it goes higher. But if we take a look at the fibs, I think it bounced off to 61.8. And let's just see what happens if it continues to bounce off. It continues to create a W here in the next future. I think this is where it's going to stay for a while. I don't see my my stink bid getting filled down here. So I might not be getting any of these coins at all because I don't see it coming back down. Where should you buy this? If you're interested, hey, you know what? If you don't think it's coming back down, Mr. D, where do you think I should buy this? Well, I think you need to set you shouldn't be buying up here. You need to set your fibs. If it continues going higher, set your fibs, buy the 78.6, buy some of the 61.8, wherever it comes back down to. A little bit, buy a little bit, not a whole lot. Then the 78.6 and then the 88.6. But that's, of course, if it goes higher, you have to keep drawing this higher, higher, higher to start, and then start your nibblings, because I don't see this thing dumping down. Maybe it gets lucky. Maybe it gets a rage quit if this thing goes sideways for quite a long time, but I'm not seeing it here on this chart. I'm not seeing somebody doing a rage quit anytime soon. Let's take a look at Bittrex. Bittrex. See what? Oh wow, created an all-time high. That's amazing. Wow. You know what they say with when you see a new high, well, show me a new high and I will show you a buy. Yeah, this thing wants to go, and it's not. I don't think I'm going to be participating in any kind of like rocket fuel move here on this thing. But you know what? That's okay. I will find other opportunities. All right. Next question.
Here's another icon request. I mean, names like this always get me. People come with names like Joe Bazooka and you're sure that we take your question. Oh man. Okay, so Joe Bazooka asks, "Hi guys, can you check out KAVA today?"
KAVA.
KAVA.
Sure.
Short B this time from Victor.
Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah. Where's my 200 likes, guys? Come on, man. You can get it up there. Just
show Mr. D some love.
Show some love, right? Just head over there and click, and you know we can help the algorithm and share this information with everybody. Share everybody, especially to get people to like buy your bags of altcoins that you guys are shouting out. Alrighty, next question. Let's see here. Next coin is KAVA, and wow, I already took some profits. I already have this coin, and yeah, we've come back probably from the 61.8, right? Yeah, exactly, right to the 61.8. Isn't it amazing? Isn't that amazing? That's the second coin that's come all the way back to 61.8 and bounced. Isn't that just incredible, right? That you can, the price can do that. The price action does that. Yeah, these altcoins, they love the 61.8 as well. That's why I say, hey, you know what? Start to nibble. I would not go hardcore here, right? Because you know you don't want to lose a lot of money. You want to be able to buy this thing lower should this thing break down. And I know, a lot of people, you'll feel like, oh my God, this is going to zero. This is good. Why am I buying this crap when it's down here at the 88.6, which is the 85,000 sat level? When right now it's at 23,000 sats? Yeah, 23,000. Yeah, you're not going to feel so hot buying down here, but that's what you got to do. Right, in order to make the most money, right? You can't be buying near the nosebleed sections, and they can't be putting a lot of money in the nosebleed sections. And this is kind of nosebleedy up here. So, yeah, yes, true. We're going into a super cycle, a super duper cycle. that's unprecedented to any market that we'll ever see ever again. All of these cryptocurrencies, right, have one thing in common. You could take possession of them directly. Compare that to stocks, which you don't own possession of at any point in time. With a push of a button, all your stocks are gone and replaced with dollars or local currencies. Just a push of a button. And legally, that long as they gave you, they paid you for your stocks, you can't complain. You can go, well, no, I didn't want to sell. Well, the government, felt that in the interest of national security, they needed to take that from you. Well, that's not right. That means they nationalized all the companies. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Exactly. And you can bitch all you want, but you can see how with Germany, like all the Germans coming out saying, hey, you know what, this virus is nonsense, which it is. You can see how inconsequential your protest is. All right, next question.
Okay. So actually, someone here in the Twitch chat said, is Mythos009 says, hey Davinci, did you know that the golden ratio of the world is the city of Mecca? You know that there are a lot of mathematical relationships.
I heard that.
On the world, the universe, nature, even on your cells in your body that has to do with 61.8, fractals. It's amazing.
I know, it is. The number is amazing.
So you can tell, because the market is a reflection of human emotion, and we are not based, but we're bind to that mathematical relationships even on our psyches. That's why maybe Fibonacci relationships, golden ratios, and all that stuff works on the chart. Yeah, because exactly. It's an expression of ourselves.
Exactly. All right, next really like question. That. I know, it's amazing.
Next question. Okay. Okay, we have a super chat from Mr. Sir Toasty Nakamoto. This gentleman said, how will governments treat crypto holders when dollar system truly collapses?
Well, I mean, the worst case scenario is, they go full Argentina and Venezuela, and that would be complete disaster, because you would actually live like those people there, right? Where nothing works, everything's a disaster. Food is scarce. People are struggling more often than not, and it's not a place, not a world you want to live in. Basically, there's more violence, more gangs, more negativity, right? But you still be able to protect yourself and trade with other people. With cryptocurrencies, even if governments just say, hey, you can't do so, that they will do so. The government officials will do so, and that means that you'll be able to do so underground, under the table. And yeah, it's not going to be pretty, because you're going to have the only way to seek justice is with the point of a gun, right? And through violent means, and so. It will be a very, very difficult time if they do that. Hopefully they don't. That's all we can do. All right, next question.
Okay, so this is another super chat from Felipe Ferreira. Says, yo, can you have a look? Can you have a look on band price targets and entry points, please?
All right, I'm gonna call that the last question.
You have to always say when it was that, because I have always a last question say. I have an schedule.
Well, if I get up to 200 likes, because look at that, I'm not at 200 likes.
Oh, 9 more.
And then I'll do one more. All right, so band.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for all the people that donated today.
Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for your donation is very much appreciated, and I will put it to good use improving this stream. Okay, let's see here. Wow. Okay, let's take it from this point there because that's where the last W was. Yeah, there you go. You see the 61.8 again, very important. Let's see here. Is this thing gonna come back? Not really. Wow. I mean, it's amazing how the 61.8 tried over and over and over again to break the 61.8 and failed. Just absolutely incredible. This is on the 4-hour chart, so this is, oh wow. That's just unreal. And well, I would be careful with the W happening here. I know, oh, you know what? I forgot to sell half on a double up here, so I decided to put it up there because I guess I forgot my sell my other half of a band here. I don't know. I don't think you should be buying this thing here. Wait for it to roll over. I know we're going through a super cycle. I know you want to feel like FOMOing in, but don't do it. Don't do it. At best, right? Even though you shouldn't do it at all here up in this area at all here. If you really want to do this, you set your fibs and you wait for it to come back at least to that level, and having it come back to this level. Doing this is just like not a good idea. You know what? I'm not even gonna recommend that. No. Just if it continues going higher, walk away. If it comes back down and comes to the 61.8, buy some. If it goes lower, buy some more. If it goes lower, buy some more. But if it doesn't, let it go. Just let it go. Okay? Just let this one go. But I get the feeling that this one, because it did a V bottom at the 61.8, we're gonna probably break it. Especially since, you know, this is probably from the jump off, we could see that the 78.6 is there. And I think there's some people down there there's a lot of liquidity down here, so that the market is attracted to that liquidity and will get it filled. So I would look to putting your buy orders in that area of 21,000 sats to be a buyer at band and not bother any other location. Alrighty then.
Alrighty, looks like someone got 218 likes.
Oh, look at that. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So let's go on to the last question of the day.
Nice. Okay, so this one is from... Oh, okay. Oh, I have to choose. Okay, so this one is from Carlson Lim from Twitch, and says, what are your thoughts on Pax Gold? I wish it was available on Binance or more platform. Also, I'm concerned about USDT. Will it crash together with the dollar in the hyperinflation environment?
Yeah, I've been saying about, oh yeah, I'm going to research Pax Gold, and I haven't done it yet. So,
if not, I have a better question for you.
Because if it's one of those golds that are stored at a bullion bank or with the London BMA or any of those things, right? Then I'm not interested. If they store their gold, if they purchase the gold and store it in their own Brinks vault, right, and stored by Brinks or something like that, hey, I'm the first one to buy there. I'm the first one in line, and I'll be like promoting them like the snot out of them. But the second I find out that they're using the standard derivative system, right, that we've talked about in this video alone, I'm not interested. I'm like, no. If they're using the Perth Mint, no. If they're using, you know, the LBMA or the New York storage areas, no. See ya. That's all the gold that's been hypothecated or leveraged 100 to 1. That means 100 people believe that they own that gold, right? And none of them do, basically. So it's going to be a sad day when you see that the amount of gold that people believe that they own none of it. They actually own none, zero. The only good thing that might happen to them is that I think the Federal Reserve and the central banks will pay them cash for that fake gold, and they won't lose everything, but once the gold gets repriced, they won't be able to. They'll take a huge loss in their wealth that they thought they had. And that's that. All right. Well, I will call that a day. You could ask me the next question tomorrow.
Yes, of course.
And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. It was a great stream. I enjoyed myself, and I hope you guys did as well. If you haven't seen these videos popping up here, please check them out. Cheers, people.
Bye.